English in Health and Medical. Human body and organ systems. A. External body parts. A1. Head and face.
Head, head. Forehead, forehead. Face, face. Hair, hair. Part, part. Sideburns, sideburns. Curl, curl. Beard, beard. Mustache, mustache. Eyebrow, eyebrow. Eyelashes, eyelashes. Eye, eye. Eyelid, eyelid. Iris, iris. Pupil, pupil. Scara, scara. Caruncle, caruncle. Ear, ear. Nose, nose. Nostril, nostril. Mouth, mouth. Lip, lip. Tongue, tongue. Tooth, tooth. Cheek, cheek. Jaw, jaw. Chin, chin.
A2. Upper and lower body.
Body, body. Neck, neck. Shoulder, shoulder. Back, back. Chest, chest. Breast, breast. Stomach, stomach. Abdomen, abdomen. Waist, waist. Arm, arm. Armpit, armpit. Upper arm, upper arm. Elbow, elbow. Forearm, forearm. Belly buttons, belly buttons. Navel, navel. Hip, hip. Buttock, buttock. Groin, groin. Leg, leg. Thigh, thigh. Knee, knee. Calf, calf. Shin, shin.
A3. Hands and feet.
Feet, feet. Hand, hand. The hand, the hand. Palm, palm. Knuckle, knuckle. Finger, finger. Fingernail, fingernail. Top, top. Index finger, index finger. Middle finger, middle finger. Ring finger, ring finger. Pinky, pinky. Little finger, little finger. Ankle, ankle. Heel, heel. Foot, foot. Instead, instead. Solar feet, solar feet. Toe, toe. Toe joint, toe joint. Toenail, toenail. Big toe, big toe. Little toe, little toe.
E4. Integumentary System.
Functions: exterior protection of body and thermal regulation. It acts as a physical barrier, protecting your body from bacteria, infection, injury, and sunlight. Skin: epidermis, epidermis, dermis, dermis. Subcutaneous fat layer, subcutaneous fat layer. hypodermis, hypodermis, adipose tissue, adipose tissue. Accompanying structures: hair, hair, nails, nails, palms and fingerprints, palms and fingerprints. Pore, pore, hair shaft, hair shaft, hair follicle, hair follicle, hair bulb, hair bulb, sebaceous gland, sebaceous gland, sweat gland, sweat gland, touch receptors, touch receptors, nerve, nerve, erector muscle, erector muscle.
B. Movement and nervous system. B1. Movement system.
1. Skeletal system. Functions: shaping your body, allows movement, makes blood cells, provides protection for your organs and stores minerals. Bones, bones. Cartilage, cartilage. Ligaments, ligaments. Tendons, tendons. Bone frame, bone frame. Skull bones, skull bones. Facial bones, facial bones. Trunk bones, trunk bones. Upper limb bones, upper limb bones. Lower limb bones, lower limb bones. Cranium, cranium. Frontal bone, frontal bone. Zygomatic bone, zygomatic bone. Nasal bone, nasal bone. Mandible, mandible. Vertebral column, vertebral column. 7 cervical vertebrae, 7 cervical vertebrae. 12 thoracic vertebrae, 12 thoracic vertebrae. 5 lumbar vertebrae, 5 lumbar vertebrae. Sacrum and coccyx, sacrum and coccyx. Ischium, ischium. Sternum, sternum. Ribs, ribs. Clavicle, clavicle. Scapula, scapula. Humerus, humerus. Ulna, ulna. Radius bone, radius bone. Carpals, carpals. Metacarpals, metacarpals. Phalanges, phalanges. Ilium, ilium. Femur, femur. Patella, patella. Tibia, tibia. Fibula, fibula. Tarsals, tarsals. Metatarsals, metatarsals. Calcaneus, calcaneus.
2. Muscular system. Functions: muscles provide strength, balance, posture, movement, and heat for the body to keep warm. They allow a person to move, speak, and chew. They also help to homeostasis, protection, calcium metabolism, and maintaining body temperature. Skeletal muscles. Skeletal muscles. Smooth muscles. Smooth muscles. Cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscle. Head, face, and neck muscles. Head, face, and neck muscles. Body muscles. Body muscles. Muscles of the thoracic wall. Muscles of the thoracic wall. Abdominal muscles. Abdominal muscles. Diaphragm. Diaphragm. Upper limb muscles. Upper limb muscles. Lower limb muscles. Lower limb muscles. Pectoralis major. Pectoralis major. Latissimus dorsi. Latissimus dorsi. Trapezius. Trapezius. Deltoid. Deltoid. Biceps. Biceps. Triceps. Triceps. Brachioradialis. Brachioradialis. Finger extensors. Finger extensors. Finger flexors. Finger flexors. Serratus anterior. Serratus anterior. External oblique. External oblique. Abdominals. Abdominals. Sartorius. Sartorius. Quadriceps. Quadriceps. Infraspinatus. Infraspinatus. Teres major. Teres major. Gluteus medius. Gluteus medius. Gluteus maximus. Gluteus maximus. Abductors. Abductors. Hamstrings. Hamstrings. Tibialis anterior. Tibialis anterior. Gastrocnemius. Gastrocnemius. Soleus. Soleus.
B2. Nervous system.
Functions: sensing and processing information, controlling body activities. The brain is what controls all the body's functions. The spinal cord runs from the brain down through the back. Include brain, spinal cord, nerves, sensory organs, and the following sensory systems: nervous subsystems, visual system, olfactory system, taste, gustatory system, and hearing, auditory system. Central nervous system. Brain. Brain. Spinal cord. Spinal cord. Peripheral nerves. 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 Cerebral nerves. Cerebral nerves. Spinal nerves. Spinal nerves. Nerve ganglia. Nerve ganglia. Classification. Classification. Motor nervous system. Motor nervous system. Vegetative nervous system. Vegetative nervous system. Sympathetic subsystem and parasympathetic subsystem. Sympathetic subsystem and parasympathetic subsystem. Brain structure. Cerebrum. Cerebrum. Cerebellum. Cerebellum. Left, right hemisphere. Left, right hemisphere. Brain stem. Brain stem. Temporal lobe. Temporal lobe. Frontal lobe. Frontal lobe. Parietal lobe. Parietal lobe. Occipital lobe. Occipital lobe. Diencephalon. Diencephalon. Nerve cell. Nerve cell. Neuron. Neuron. Dendrite. Dendrite. Nucleus. Nucleus. Cell body. Cell body. Axon. Axon. Myelin sheath. Myelin sheath. Node of Ranvier. Node of Ranvier. Direction of impulse. Direction of impulse. Axon terminal. Axon terminal. Synapse. Synapse. Neuron types. Neuron types. Unipolar neuron. Unipolar neuron. Bipolar neuron. Bipolar neuron. Multipolar neuron. Multipolar neuron. Astrocytes. Astrocytes. Oligodendrocytes. Oligodendrocytes. Microglia. Microglia. Nerve cell network. Nerve cell network.
B3. Sensory organs.
Functions. Sensory organs biologically identify sensations and are essential organs that participate in day-to-day activities. The sensory organs function by the transmission of signals to the brain in response to the environment, and the brain helps interpret the signals. Eyes. Sense of sight. Sclera, choroid, reticularis. Ears. Sense of hearing. Outer ear, middle ear, inner ear. Nose. Sense of smell. Mucosal hairs. Tongue. Sense of taste. Taste buds. Skin. Sense of touch. Receptors.
C. Organ systems. C1. Circulatory system.
Functions: circulate blood in order to transport nutrients, waste, hormones, O2, CO2, and aid in maintaining pH and temperature. Blood, heart, arteries, veins, and capillaries. Heart. Ventricles. Ventricles. Atrium. Atrium. Endocardium. Endocardium. Epicardium. Epicardium. Heart valves. Heart valves. Septum. Septum. The circulatory. Big cycle. Big cycle. Systemic circulation. Systemic circulation. Small cycle. Small cycle. Pulmonary circulation. Pulmonary circulation. Blood vessels. Aorta. Aorta. Vena cava. Vena cava. Arteries. Arteries. Vein. Vein. Head and neck arteries. Head and neck arteries. Pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery. Pulmonary vein. Pulmonary vein. Capillaries. Capillaries. Blood. Plasma. Plasma. Red blood cells. Red blood cells. White blood cells. White blood cells. Platelets. Platelets. Blood tissue. Blood tissue.
C2. Lymphatic system.
Functions. The lymphatic system is part of the immune system, aid immune responses, that fights pathogens, foreign bodies, and deformed, cancerous cells. In addition to protecting the body, it is also part of the circulatory system, responsible for balancing fluids, return lymph to the bloodstream, form white blood cells, and absorbing fat. Subsystem. Large subsystem. Large subsystem. Small subsystem. Small subsystem. Lymphatic pathways. Lymph. Lymph. Lymphatic ducts. Lymphatic ducts. Lymphatic vessels. Lymphatic vessels. Lymphatic. Lymphatic. Lymphatic capillaries. Lymphatic capillaries. Lymph nodes. Lymph nodes. Pharyngeal lymph nodes. Pharyngeal lymph nodes. Lymphoid tissue. Lymphoid tissue. Lymph granules. Lymph granules. Capsules. Capsules. Tonsils. Tonsils. Thymus. Thymus. Liver. Liver. Spleen. Spleen. Bone marrow. Bone marrow.
C3. Immune system.
Functions: defends the body from infection and includes a complex network of cells, chemicals, tissues, and organs. The immune system recognizes invaders such as bacteria, viruses, and fungi, as well as abnormal cells like cancer cells, and then makes antibodies, helps the body fight the invasion. Leukocytes. White blood cells. Basophils. Basophils. Neutrophils. Neutrophils. Eosinophils. Eosinophils. Monocytes. Monocytes. Lymphocytes. Lymphocytes. B cells, B cells, T cells, T cells. Mechanism: phagocytosis, phagocytosis. Antibody secretion, antibody secretion. Destruction of infected cells, destruction of infected cells. Mucosa, mucosa. Adenoids, adenoids.
C4. Respiratory System. Functions. The main function of your respiratory system is to pull in oxygen for your body's cells and get rid of carbon dioxide, a waste product. You do this by breathing in and out and through gas exchange between the small air sacs of your lungs, alveoli, and the blood vessels running nearby. Airway. Nose, nose. Nostrils, nostrils. Nasal cavity, nasal cavity. Pharynx, pharynx. Throat, throat. Frontal sinus, frontal sinus. Paranasal sinus, paranasal sinus. Sphenoid sinus, sphenoid sinus. Epiglottis, epiglottis. Larynx, larynx. Trachea, trachea. Right, left primary bronchus. Right, left primary bronchus. Bronchi, bronchi. Lungs, two lungs, two lungs. Alveoli, alveoli. Pleura, pleura. Breathing, breathing. Gas exchange, gas exchange. Diaphragm, diaphragm. C5. Digestive System.
Functions. The digestive system breaks down food and absorbs nutrients for energy and growth. It is a long tube starting from your mouth, going all the way to your anus. Digestive tract. Mouth, mouth. Tongue, tongue. Teeth, teeth. Pharynx, pharynx. Esophagus, esophagus. Stomach, stomach. Duodenum, duodenum. Small intestine, small intestine. Large intestine, large intestine. Appendix, appendix. Rectum, rectum. Anus, anus. Digestive glands. Salivary glands, salivary glands. Bile glands, bile glands. Gallbladder, gallbladder. Intestinal glands, intestinal glands. Pancreas, pancreas. Liver, liver.
C6. Urinary System.
Functions: eliminating waste products such as urea, uric acid, ammonia, and other chemical products via urine. Maintaining the osmotic level of blood and plasma. Maintaining the electrolyte balance in the body. Helps in the metabolism of those drugs that do not get metabolized in the liver. Urinary system. Kidneys, kidneys. Renal vein, renal vein. Renal artery, renal artery. Ureters, ureters. Bladder, bladder. Urethra, urethra. Sweat excretory system. Skin, skin. Sweat glands, sweat glands. Carbon dioxide excretory system. Nose, nose. Airways, airways. Lungs, lungs.
C7. Endocrine System.
Functions. Endocrine glands release hormones into the bloodstream. This lets the hormones travel to cells in other parts of the body. The endocrine hormones help control mood, growth, and development, the way our organs work, metabolism, and reproduction. The endocrine system regulates how much of each hormone is released. Brain endocrine. Hypothalamus. Hypothalamus. Pineal gland. Pineal gland. Pituitary gland. Pituitary gland. Thoracic endocrine. Thyroid. Thyroid. Parathyroid. Parathyroid. Thymus. Thymus. Abdominal endocrine. Adrenal gland. Adrenal gland. Pancreas. Pancreas. Gonads. Gonads. Ovaries. Ovaries. Testicles. Testicles.
C8. Exocrine system.
Functions. Exocrine glands play a key role in the physiology of many organ systems, from the skin to the pancreas, providing the body with a method to release secretions containing proteins, mucus, and other products to epithelial surfaces around the body. Lacrimal glands. Lacrimal glands. Ceruminous glands. Ceruminous glands. Sebaceous glands. Sebaceous glands.
Eye.
Tears. Tears.
Mouth.
Saliva. Saliva.
Skin.
Sweat sebum. Sweat sebum.
Stomach.
Enzymes. Enzymes.
Breasts.
Milk. Milk.
Liver.
Bile. Bile.
Pancreas.
Juices. Juices.
Intestines.
Mucus. Mucus.
C9. Reproductive system.
Functions. The main function of the reproductive system is to allow for the production of offspring. The reproductive system also enables sexual function and produces hormones that allow sexual development and support pregnancy. Male reproductive organs. Pubic bone. Pubic bone. Bladder. Bladder. Urethra. Urethra. Rectum. Rectum. Prostate. Prostate. Bulbar gland. Bulbar gland. Epididymis. Epididymis. Testicles. Testicles. Scrotum. Scrotum. Sperm. Sperm. Vas deferens. Vas deferens. Seminal vesicles. Seminal vesicles. Ejaculatory duct. Ejaculatory duct. Penis. Penis. Female reproductive organs. Ovaries. Ovaries. Fallopian tubes. Fallopian tubes. Ovum. Ovum. Artificial insemination, include ICI and IUI. Artificial insemination, include ICI and IUI. Natural insemination. Natural insemination. Uterus. Uterus. Fundus of uterus. Fundus of uterus. Uterine cavity. Uterine cavity. Cervix. Cervix. Cervical canal. Cervical canal. Vagina. Vagina. Vulva. Vulva. Clitoris. Clitoris. Pregnant. Pregnant. Umbilical cord. Umbilical cord. Fetus. Fetus. Placenta. Placenta. Menstrual cycle. Menstrual cycle.
Appendix 1. Overview of the human body.
Structure and operation mechanisms.
Anatomy. Anatomy. Physiology. Physiology. Histology. Histology. Embryology. Embryology. Cells create tissues. Tissues create organs. Organs create organ systems. Many systems and mechanisms interact in order to maintain homeostasis, with safe levels of substances such as sugar, iron, and oxygen in the blood.
Body cavities.
Dorsal body cavity. Dorsal body cavity. Cranial cavity. Cranial cavity. Vertebral cavity. Vertebral cavity. Ventral body cavity. Ventral body cavity. Abdominopelvic cavity. Abdominopelvic cavity. Thoracic cavity. Thoracic cavity. Superior mediastinum. Superior mediastinum. Pleural cavity. Pleural cavity. Pericardial cavity, within the mediastinum. Pericardial cavity, within the mediastinum. Abdominal cavity. Abdominal cavity. Pelvic cavity. Pelvic cavity.
Composition.
The human body is composed of elements including hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, calcium and phosphorus. These elements reside in trillions of cells and non-cellular components of the body. The adult male body is about 60% total body water content of some 42 liters, 9.2 imp gal, 11 US gal. This is made up of about 19 liters of extracellular fluid, including about 3.2 liters of blood plasma, and about 8.4 liters of interstitial fluid, and about 23 liters of fluid inside cells. The content, acidity and composition of the water inside and outside cells is carefully maintained. The main electrolytes in body water outside cells are sodium and chloride, whereas within cells it is potassium and other phosphates.
Cells.
The body contains trillions of cells, the fundamental unit of life. At maturity, there are roughly 30 trillion cells, and 38 trillion bacteria in the body, an estimate arrived at by totaling the cell numbers of all the organs of the body and cell types. The skin of the body is also host to billions of commensal organisms as well as immune cells. Not all parts of the body are made from cells. Cells sit in an extracellular matrix that consists of proteins such as collagen, surrounded by extracellular fluids. Cells that line surfaces exposed to the outside world or gastrointestinal tract, epithelia, or internal cavities, endothelium, come in numerous shapes and forms, from single layers of flat cells, to cells with small beating hair, like cilia in the lungs, to column-like cells that line the stomach. Endothelial cells are cells that line internal cavities including blood vessels and glands. Lining cells regulate what can and cannot pass through them, protect internal structures, and function as sensory surfaces. Stem cells. Stem cells. Bone cells. Bone cells. Blood cells. Blood cells. Muscle cells. Muscle cells. Fat cells. Fat cells. Skin cells. Skin cells. Nerve cells. Nerve cells. Endothelial cells. Endothelial cells. Sex cells. Sex cells. Pancreatic cells. Pancreatic cells. Cancer cells. Cancer cells.
Genome.
Cells in the body function because of DNA. DNA sits within the nucleus of a cell. Here, parts of DNA are copied and sent to the body of the cell via RNA. The RNA is then used to create proteins, which form the basis for cells, their activity, and their products. Proteins dictate cell function and gene expression. A cell is able to self-regulate by the amount of proteins produced. However, not all cells have DNA. Some cells such as mature red blood cells lose their nucleus as they mature. Chromosome. Chromosome. Chromatin. Chromatin. Nucleosome. Nucleosome. Deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA. Deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA. Histone. Histone. Double helix. Double helix. Structure of the genome.
Structure of the genome. Light micrograph of a set of male chromosomes clearly showing the X and Y chromosomes. 22 pairs autosomes. 22 pairs autosomes. 1 pair sex chromosomes. 1 pair sex chromosomes. Human genomic variation. Human genomic variation. Nucleus. Nucleus.
Tissues.
The body consists of many different types of tissue, defined as cells that act with a specialized function. The study of tissues is called histology and is often done with a microscope. The body consists of 4 main types of tissues. These are lining cells, epithelia, connective tissue, nerve tissue and muscle tissue. Types of tissue. Blood vessels. Blood vessels. Nerve. Nerve. Muscle. Muscle. Joint tissues. Joint tissues. Fat and deep skin tissue. Fat and deep skin tissue.
Appendix 2. Overview of organ systems in humans.
There are 11 distinct organ systems in human beings, which form the basis of human anatomy and physiology. The 11 organ systems: the respiratory system, digestive and excretory system, circulatory system, urinary system, integumentary system, skeletal system, muscular system, endocrine system, lymphatic system, nervous system, and reproductive system. There are other systems in the body that are not organ systems. For example, the immune system protects the organism from infection, but it is not an organ system since it is not composed of organs. Some organs are in more than one system. For example, the nose is in the respiratory system and also serves as a sensory organ in the nervous system. The testes and ovaries are both part of the reproductive and endocrine systems.
Appendix 3. Basic functions of parts of some organ systems.
Digestive system. Stomach, where food is broken down. Liver, part under the right ribs, helpful in detoxification. Intestine, internal organs that look like tubes, which are responsible for breaking down the food and making energy from it. Kidneys, filter blood to remove waste. They create urine. Bladder, stores urine, releases it from the body. Pancreas, produces ferments from food and helps regulate blood sugar. Spleen, filters blood, part of the immune system. Esophagus, tube connecting the mouth to the stomach, transports food. Gallbladder, stores bile, helps in fat digestion. Respiratory system. Lungs, responsible for breathing. They exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide. Throat, the front part of the neck that helps you swallow, breathe, and talk. Trachea, the windpipe, connects the throat to the lungs. Bronchi, air passages in the lungs, connect the trachea to the lungs. Diaphragm, muscle under the lungs, helps in breathing by contracting and relaxing. Alveoli, tiny air sacs in the lungs, where oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange occurs. Nostrils, openings in the nose, allow air to enter and exit. Larynx, voice box, produces sound for speech. Pharynx, throat area, passage for air and food. Pleura, membranes surrounding the lungs, protect and cushion the lungs. Circulatory system. Heart, pumps blood throughout the body, the central organ of the circulatory system. Arteries, carry blood away from the heart. They supply oxygenated blood to the body. Veins carry blood to the heart. They return deoxygenated blood from the body. Capillaries, tiny blood vessels that connect arteries and veins and enable nutrient exchange. Aorta, the main and largest artery, carries oxygenated blood from the heart to the body. Pulmonary artery, carries blood from the heart to the lungs. It's deoxygenated. Pulmonary vein, carries oxygenated blood from the lungs to the heart. Plasma, the liquid part of blood, carries cells and proteins. Red blood cells carry oxygen to the body, contain hemoglobin. White blood cells fight infections, part of the immune system.